Warning: the following podcast is brought to you by real officers in their fields of work. All stories told are accurate and will not disclose any names, dates, or locations of events. May contain contents about nudity, drugs, alcohol, and violence. Viewer discretion advised.
Welcome to Lawful Laughs, where we laugh about unlawful affairs. I'm your host, Officer Titan, with my ever so famous co-host, Officer Coach. How are we tonight?
I'm good. I like that little bit you added, ever so famous. Everybody knows about me and my name, Officer Coach. Come on, me.
Well, God forbid we hear about the death of Radar every day, so mix something up, you know?
Well, coincidentally, he's not here. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him resurrected fast enough, so it's a sad moment. If we could, everybody, quick moment of silence for Officer Radar, please.
Shut up.
No.
We got a pretty good episode lined up for you guys today. We got a bunch of special guests. We got Officer Grace and Officer Hood joining us again, and Officer. We don't really have a code name for him yet, so we're going to call him Officer Call of Duty.
Officer J.
Officer Call of Duty, I think I said.
I don't think that's what we said.
I mean, his name states right below you, buddy. Officer J.
Oh, is it? Oh,
that's crazy.
Oh, my bad, bro.
Not so special, I guess, but all right.
I was trying to cook.
No, he's simmering.
Oh, man. Sometimes simple details is hard to come by.
Yeah. Well, when your brain is as big as mine.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. How does that help you out?
And since my co-host dropped the ball here, I'm going to go ahead and Brickhouse. Welcome. How are you?
You know, that small brain wasn't processing.
I forgot.
So.
No, I'm so no.
Another moment of silence for me leaving. Bye.
Buddy. No.
I think you're on one tonight.
Oh, I'm always on one.
I mean, we should go around and say what these what's the inspiration behind our names, because I'm kind of curious what Brickhouse is.
My picture's a Lego officer.
You know, I thought it was because that inmate was checking out that derriere you got.
No. Thank you, though.
Wasn't that a male, Brickhouse?
He's got,
unfortunately,
like, damn, Brickhouse, you got all that ass in them officer jeans.
It's not easy putting it in there, but yes, I do.
That's actually not a bad idea, Officer Hood. Honestly, we could go around the round table and explain the motives behind our names. Officer Titan, you want to start us off? What do we call you Officer Titan for, bud?
Well, apparently throughout my career, I've been considered very intimidating.
It's not a lie.
The name seemed kind of fitting.
Real talk, he's such a softie.
Another nickname. Yeah, because I don't want paperwork.
Great big teddy bear. All the inmates just running up. There you are. Hug.
Yes, big hug. Hugs for everybody except the two units that we have that have the opposite sex in it. Might catch a disease.
Good save.
More like hugs with your hand to their throat. Come here.
The fuck?
I do tell them that they like to find out and meet pavement often. I don't know. That's really kind of what it is. I'm actually known by another nickname that is too well known to be used. So we kind of went along that route. I'm also 6'4" too, so
must be nice.
Yeah, no. That's
what are you, 5'5"?
So for real.
Whoa, I don't need that disrespect on my name. Okay, 5'8" and 5'9" on a good day. All right, listen.
5'8", 3 inches taller. Well, that worked.
Damn.
That's pretty much the story behind my name there. And it was just a quick come with. What about you, Coach? I don't see you coaching anybody.
No, I'm not a coach in any sport. It's just a meme. Like, you call people bro, and around the time I started working at my county's jail, calling people, hey, sub me in, come on, coach. That was just a funny thing to say, and mainly my friend group, so I would just say it a lot, and people would jokingly call me coach every once in a while. So I figured if we were going by nicknames, it'd be that or another one that is also too well known for me to say, but I figured Officer Coach was pretty fitting. It's two what's the word? Two like titles, officer and coach. You just put them together, and that's me. That's me, Coach.
You know, I thought Officer Bobby Hill would have been more fitting for you. Like,
I thought about it. I really did. I thought about
one hit, and it stuck for like a good minute.
I did. Wait, hold on. You guys hear that? It's off the radar from the grave, I think. The alien from the grave sending signals to my head.
I think you're alone, buddy. Are you not an
No.
alien with him?
Hold on. He's telling me to say, what was the moment during your job that had you like, what am I doing here? And how did I get here? Hashtag read the radar.
That's
He said
that's a
that
good
verbatim
one.
in my head.
Oh damn.
Of course he did. That's a good one.
Oh, checked out.
So what am I doing here? I get to be paid to be an asshole.
Fair.
Like what other job do you have that your employer will pay you to be an asshole and walk back into the meeting room or the debriefing room and give each other high fives, like, yeah, that was a good one. And I get a paycheck for it. I got here because I moved into a little town that I'm at now, and my neighbor was an assistant commander at the facility that I now work at. And I befriended him just due to the fact that he was my neighbor. And we got to talking and became really close friends. And this individual, we'll call him Officer Mountain. He has currently been with our county for 11 years. And he continuously tried to convince me to go out for the reserve program, which reserve program is basically like volunteer fire department, except volunteer police department. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I put my applications in for reserve, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. Every time he told me to do it, I did it. Well, never really ever got a call back. Then he came to my house one day and he said, hey, bud, would you ever be interested in being a jail officer? And I was like, yeah, sure. Put my application in, and not even 24 hours later, get a phone call by the commander. Hey, you got an interview. You want to come? That's a pretty long story, but I'll just make it short. And I gave him all sorts of shit because he's like, yeah, buddy, I've seen your application like 6 times. And I was like, okay, motherfucker. And you never once thought to say, hey, man, I don't need a reserve right now, but would you be interested in another position? This motherfucker sat there and made me wait until I put an application in for what he wanted instead of just saying, hey, there's other positions here. So that's kind of my backstory on that, Mr. Dead Radar.
Rest in peace.
May he rest.
Yeah, sad. It's a sad day.
Every day.
I think what really got me to where I am today. Well, hold on. Sorry, Titan, you didn't completely answer the question. What is a moment that made you realize, wow, how did I get here? Well, in your
one
time.
moment. Okay. One moment was kind of back to our last episode when I ran into Shit Shoes Magoo. And I never had a 280-pound woman covered in her own fecal matter get down in a defensive lineman 3-point position and try to charge me.
The fuck?
Sure.
And I immediately was thinking, what the fuck am I doing here?
I can see it so well, like it was yesterday. Oh God.
Oh, buddy. So I started working. I guess I didn't start working. I started working towards my jail officer certification in high school. And shortly after high school, I applied at my local county's jail, and they hired me. Pretty short. I think a moment really in my time in law enforcement that was like, wow, like how did I get here? What drove me here? Doing a
Wanting to deal with
walkthrough.
dumbasses all day?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I was doing a walkthrough through one of our pods at our older facility, and while doing that walkthrough, I was in the rowdier block. These guys just like to cause issues, and like I'll explain in about 2 minutes, they just like to say a bunch of dumb shit. And so one of the things they like to ask the male officers is for them to just show them their penis.
The fuck?
Now,
That might
Me,
just be you, but I've never had that question.
no, they.
I don't know. That might just be you. Well, good job for you, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm proud of
Hey,
you, but I've never had that
hey.
question.
They would ask me that every time I walk through, and like I never, I like didn't take offense to it or anything. To be honest with you, I thought it was kind of funny. So one day while walking through, I thought, what would be a good way to get back at these guys? Well, at the time I was 18 years old, and I was not freshly 18. I had been 18 for maybe like 7 months at that point.
Does the size match the stature?
Yes. So I asked them. I was like, you guys know, like 10 months ago I was 17, right? and never
Oh,
again
you'd
was
fit
I
well
asked that question.
somewhere.
Yeah, they're that close to a different block.
Yeah, for real. And it was like after that I was like, wow, like this is really the area I'm working. This is really what I choose to do with my free time is come and
Did
work
you
in
ever
jail.
expect to have grown men talk about your penis when you were like 2 months into 18?
I mean, working, if I always figured I'd work in a jail, so like working in a jail, I always kind of figured like dumb questions like that would be asked. That question specifically, no. No. But like I guess the general idea of it, yeah, I had some expectations. They were blown out of the water, but
Well, so with them blown out of the water, was your penis size one of them?
was my penis size blown out of the water?
Oh. You said it.
Is that what you're asking me?
Professional. Must have been a professional.
I mean, you brought that up. You said that. So I'm just
Yeah.
elaborating on, was your penis blown out of the water?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you
there
ever
was a few
answer them
times the
anything?
cameras went down and we had no recording, so I, he probably
Oh man.
waited for that moment to go into like that hallway where the camera wasn't recording and
Oh
got
yeah.
his
Officer Titan and I
penis
got
blown out the
into it.
water.
You would be in Officer Radar's position if that ever happened, buddy. And I still to this day, and I'll broadcast it across the so locked down YouTube. You had your chance, bud.
No, we'll see. No, we will see. No, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Well, since your small penis is getting blown out of the water, Brickhouse, what
on,
about you, bud?
Are we like saying so far you two have said on the fact of like how you got here?
So
And then
it's
throw in a moment, yeah.
Yeah. How did you get and what's one moment that like really made you think like, wow, how did I get here?
Well, honestly, I never thought I would be an officer of anything. I hated cops growing up. It was sort of those things of like, oh my God, that's one of them. Walk the other way. Don't even look at them. They'll just arrest you because they know something went wrong. It's like, oh, you looked at me. Come here. No, I don't want to talk to you.
You're my next victim. Come here, buddy.
Yeah, you learn on movies and TV, if they say anything, you give them the very least amount of information and walk on.
And that is true to date, is it not?
Very much so. Even still, it's like I see police officers every day, and it's like, don't look them in the eye.
Yeah, for real.
Deputy sheriff walks in. Hey, you want to do something for me? Yeah, how are you? No, I'm okay. I'm
you're
gonna
like
look this way, but you can ask questions.
Yeah,
You're intentionally swerving on the roads and making weird turns.
Even
away
still,
from
it's like always just one of those things of like, oh crap, there's a cop. Slow down a little bit. As soon as you get so far past, speed up and get the hell away from him as fast as possible. It's like just leave me alone. I'd have to say like the one moment at work that made me really wonder how I ever got here was probably like dry cell. I'm sitting here with my hand in shit going, I had never dreamt this day would come in my life where I'd be here. And it's a good paying job and everything. It's like, really? This, of all things.
Yeah, like grown ass man going through a grown ass man shit.
Yeah, I can do a lot, but that's one of them motherfucking things. Nope, I'm a sick out. My little Chihuahua. I can't really say his name. But the little Chihuahua who likes to dig through anything and everything. Yeah, you can do that shit right there. I don't care if it's female shit or male shit. I'm not putting my hand in nobody's shit, gloves or not. Fuck
The
that.
sad part is it's based on like job. So everybody comes in and everybody has their own job, and it's like, oh, you're the unlucky fuck that's on booking today. So guess hey, over
You're a
there,
shit digger today.
you better hope they don't shit in the next 8 hours. And it's like, please don't. You almost want to go open the door and be like, dude, I beg you, hold it until this
Just-
time.
This is one time, bro. Do me a solid, please.
But it's like you can't sit there and be like, oh, they need to use the bathroom. Who wants to draw straws or paper, rock, scissors? At least give you a fighting chance. No,
Did you say paper, rock, scissors?
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. What? That was off subject. I'm sorry. It just baffled
Hey,
me. I've
don't-
never heard it like that.
Don't hate the player.
Hate the coach. You're right. Your fault, coach. Fix that.
The coach. What?
It gives equal opportunity, but the sad part is like
Mm.
before we even get down into booking, we already have it decided on who's on what. So once you walk down, it's like, oh, damn it, wrong pick today.
Oh my god. I don't even. We gotta get off this subject, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Moving on.
Yeah. Oh my god. I could go on about. I did it last episode. Oh my god.
Don't go back that dark hallway.
I'm fighting demons right now, guys.
I felt them last
Shaking
time.
in your chair,
Please.
everything.
leave that name out of your head. Officer Hood, what moment
Inmate
brought you to it?
dumbass.
For me, I needed a job. I had lost my very cushion, comfortable working from home job. That was my main source of income, and I was pretty much applying to anything that I had experience in, and the job that I worked at, kind of like part time, had told me that they were building a new jail and I should apply for it, and I applied and had my interview and got asked all the, I don't want to say difficult questions, but I think for the average person it would have been difficult because I was asked like, what happens if I get called a nigga? And I was like, okay, I get called a nigga. Uh, what happens if someone
Fair.
calls me a black bitch? I'm like, okay, I'm a black bitch. So that's kind of what
Wow.
brought me to the job. Like I needed a job. And I think the defining moment that I kind of like, I don't want to say I thought the job was like a joke or anything, but like I think it became kind of like real life was the night we were all there and we had that inmate hang himself in the bathroom. And
Yeah.
I kind of realized then, like, we aren't just sitting here babysitting people who have, potentially committed a crime. Like some of these people come in and they're strung out on whatever and out of their mind,
Mhm.
and it could land or end up in this person being dead.
Mhm.
And it wasn't so much I was worried about the inmate. I think I was worried about, let's say Officer Coach, who was still a little wee baby,
Mm.
probably had never experienced
Are
anything
you good,
of
mama?
that magnitude in his life. So I was more worried about him because he was the person who found the inmate hanging, and it was kind of crazy. We always think like, what would happen if a situation like this transpire, and or how will we handle it? And I think we pretty much did the damn thing that night. Everybody sprung into action and helped out and got the inmate down, and it went as it was, I guess it was supposed to happen. So that was kind of that defining moment. Like, I kind of checked myself. I'm like, man, can I deal with this? Like, what happens if an inmate, actually succeeds in taking their life, and how's that going to
Mhm.
impact us and the jail and the other inmates, and uh, makes it more real when you really have to, encounter situations like that.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah, that's a really
true.
good one.
That's a rude awakening when something like that presents itself in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was tough.
Because I
That was
didn't
a tough
sleep.
night.
I went home that night and I did not sleep. And I text Officer Coach. I'm like, dude, like I'm just want to check in on you. Are you okay? And at that time, Officer Coach, man, he used to rub. Ooh, I couldn't stand him. I could not stand him at that time. But I was like, at the end of the day, that's still my teammate. And if he ain't if I know I'm over here struggling, and I'm 40 something years old, and I've dealt with kids taking their lives and hurting themselves. I couldn't imagine what a barely 18-year-old kid was dealing with. So I was like, let me text him and check in, and he was like trying to play it off like, oh, I'm good, I'm good. I'm like, dude, I'm like, no, you're not. He's like, and then he finally just broke down like, well, thank you for checking on me. I ain't been the same. I'm like, I said, look, we got to get through this together. So
Yeah, it was a tough
Yeah.
night. That was a really tough night. Wow,
See,
that should have been
some
my
jail
answer. I
officers
didn't
do
even
have
think
a
about
heart.
that.
What?
Some jail officers do have a heart. You know, some people don't think we do.
It's true. It's true. It's a common misconception.
Very.
And I didn't get to answer the question behind my name. So the name just stems from because I'm truly the only black person who works in this jail. And I truly grew up in the hood. So I couldn't find I think that name would be more fitting for me because I'm from the hood. I'm the only black person that works in the fucking jail. Hell, I'm shocked when I actually see a black person walk in. And the first thing I ask them, like, what the fuck you doing in this neck of the woods? Because it ain't no black person for miles. So you either got lost or you trying to hang out with some white folks. I don't know, but what your ass doing here in Wabash?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good context. I'm just curious if anyone has a seismograph, because
Like on hand, it's in my other pants. I'm sorry. I left it there. I apologize.
because I don't know if I'm feeling what this person's feeling, but I think there's an earthquake somewhere. I don't know what's going on, but
Only if
the whole
Officer
house
Radar was
shaking.
here, he would know. He would know. God damn it. Rest in peace.
All right, Officer J. Sorry. What about you, bud?
All right. I guess we'll just run through everything real quick. Officer J is just pretty boring, straight, plain name. No one's going to really know who J is. J just stems from a letter of my first name. No one really knows my first name, so it makes it pretty easy.
I know your first name.
Anonymous. Shut up.
Wait, what is your first name?
I'll text it to you. Don't worry. I'll let you know. It's also not spelled the most common way either, and I get asked, well, why is it spelled like that? I didn't choose. It was on my certificate of birth, and that's just how it's been. I apologize.
Why don't you
Anyhow.
spend the money and get it changed?
No. I'm too deep. I am 24 years deep. It's not changing.
I mean,
I'm not doing it. Not happening. Don't even use
I
that
know
name.
your name.
Doesn't matter. Oh, there we go. Maybe you might. I don't know. I don't know if I told much people, like much of the newer people before I left. But no, I'm sure you could. I only have a ticket. You're not finding much.
As far as we know.
I mean, you
I
do
never got it.
understand that the public census record for any public officer is public. So if your government name is used on your payroll and employment, they just have to look at the roster for any year you work there.
Nah, that'd be fine. You don't gotta go that far. Calm down. Listen here, CIA. Back off.
Buddy,
right?
buddy,
I pay my taxes. You do not need to come and find me.
Oh, by the way, they really fucked us this year, real bad.
Uh-huh. But how I got to the jail took me 3 tries. I don't know about anybody else. That was their first try. Must be nice.
First try.
I applied when they said they were hiring. I never heard anything back. And I was like, all right, whatever. I was working at a factory in another town at this point. And then second time, they're like, hey, we want to interview you. I was like, oh, okay, sweet. I ended up finding out who I lost that position to, and it still irks me to this day, but I digress. I can tell Titan bowling ball, and he'll know the whole story. Third time, it was a strong of the moments. I just got off work at like 7 a.m. I'm in bed, going to sleep. Joe commander at the time calls me. He's like, hey, you want to come work at the jail? No, sir, I'm not. And then I hung up. And then I was about to go to sleep, and I was like, holy shit, I hate my job. Called him back. I'm like, hey, I was halfway asleep. Can I call you back in like half an hour? He goes, yeah, it's fine. I ended up working it out. I was the only person that refused his offer that still got to the jail, so... But,
you want to come work here? No, go fuck yourself.
I was like, no, not really. I just got a pay raise. Things are looking good later. And I just hung up.
Did I hear a bowling ball?
Yes. The second
yes.
time, second time I applied, I lost that position to that person.
Officer Bowling Ball.
I really want to know who that is.
Oh, you know.
Let's just say that somebody had a lunch date with an inmate. And it definitely suited her lifestyle.
I'll let you.
Oh my God, Grace! Wow.
Wow.
Ah!
All right, we're gonna
All
mute
right,
her for a minute.
yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea. But
There's a hell of an
getting
echo
to-
there, Grace. I want to
was-
figure that out. I'll unmute you here in a second.
that was something. But the moment I've had 2 moments at the jail. I'm not there anymore. I worked there just about 3 years. Moved on. Ah,
Oh, still there.
still there.
Still not fixed. Still not fixed.
But one of the first moments was when I got to an actual fist fight with an inmate. Most times when you have an altercation with an inmate, it's more resisting and trying to make it hard in your job.
Mhm.
This inmate was not all mentally there, and we knew that. And we tried our best to handle our situations with him the best we could without having to arise any problems. It's probably the best way I could put that. And I was on thirds at this time. I was about to get off shift. The assistant jail commander at the time wasn't working that morning, but he messaged us saying, like, hey, if this guy happens to be a problem, will you help the first shift employees lock him down? It's like, yeah, why not? We can do that. Only myself and my shift partner stayed over. We didn't need that many people to handle this person. Usually we just talk to him and he goes back, whatever. Not today. Not the day I wanted to go home, because heaven forbid I get to leave on time. Go there.
That never happens.
No, it never does. Go to the door, and I see he's standing there, and I can tell by his demeanor that he was not in a very good mood. But, it's like probably 80% of the inmates, they're there because they got caught. That's just how it is. And, I talked to him, I was like probably 2 feet away from him. I was like, hey, bud, I need you to back up. We all have our gloves on. We've already tried warning him multiple times. And the next thing I see was him step forward. He had his hand turned to a fist, and he swung that right at my face. A lot of jail officers that time that saw the video don't know how I dodged it. I don't know how I dodged it either. My back is too big to be moving that fast. I'm sure I had a major headache probably afterwards from the whiplash, but myself and the other officers.
That was pretty impressive. I actually thought I was in the Matrix.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, man, I understand it now. That's what I thought. So I instantly went to back in my wrestling days, put my hands up, and now we're squabbling. Jail officer next to me, my shift partner, taps me on the shoulder, has his taser pulled out. I was like, go ahead, be my guest. Shot him with both cartridges. Didn't work. Just so people know, tasers don't always work. Let that be known.
This is very true. Yeah.
Hit him once, and he got one that was good to the hand. He got distracted for a second. So now I'm diving into this inmate with my shift partner, fighting him. And eventually we got him to surrender himself, put him onto the ground, get him to the wrap, whatever. So it's now 7:30, 8 a.m. I'm thinking, why am I still here? And why am I in this situation?
That's a long time to lock an inmate down.
Yeah. Well, because the first 20 minutes was trying to get him to, be talkative and make sure our report said, yeah, we spoke to him for a while and tried to get him to calm down, and it didn't work. Surprise, surprise. The second story is the last week of the jail that I am there. Apparently, some narcotics got brought into the jail. We have suspicions of 1 to the 3 people, brought them 3 out. They were on lockdown up front, make sure we had eyes on them, everything.
I know. Yeah.
This guy that we suspect has it in his system that's in a balloon, and it literally was a balloon. Had fecal matter all over his clothing as if he was trying to find something. So I'm like, this is definitely the guy, but nothing seems to he doesn't seem to have it. So it's probably still in him. But just to be safe, we're going to still body scan him and see where it's at. We do our scan, and I see that it is right there. So it's either just inside the butthole or right outside of it between the cheeks. And I'm going to let you know right now that he was a skinny guy. There's not a lot that you can hide there if you're going to put him between the cheeks. So I'm like, well, fuck, here we go. Take him to the bathroom. It's like, listen, bud, before you shower, like you want to clean off all this shit on you because you want to be a goddamn toddler. I got strip search it policy. He goes, all right, yeah, it's fine. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's probably just still inside of him.
Yeah, because he doesn't seem very concerned at this point.
No,
like, yeah, go ahead.
He seems fine with it. I'm like, cool, it's still inside of him. I don't got to do anything fucking reckless. Awesome. That's what I thought until about 15 seconds after I thought that, that all changed. He goes,
nice rectal exam.
Yep. I do the whole search. I'm like, all right, go ahead and squat and cough. And he does it, but he does this little maneuver where he like turns his butt away from me the last second, and I'm like, no, do that again. We don't play that game. You seem very cool about this. You've done it a million times. I know your history and your charges. You've done this. I'm like, go ahead and put your foot up on the stool and do it again. He doesn't. This time he puts his hands by his ass. And I'm like, all right, bud. And at this point, he starts to try to turn around on me. I had to pin a grown-ass naked man against the wall. Probably one of the more uncomfortable times I've ever had. And I said, you're going to sit right there. Yeah, I was not very happy. I had my shift partner there, and I said, hey, he moves a goddamn inch. Tase his ass. And he goes, all right. I had a taser pulled out and ready. I was like, and that guy did not move a muscle. He did not want to get it.
Didn't even clench his butthole?
No, he clenched. But I did have to ask him to relax a little so I can get in there. I do have gloves on. And he is very well warned of what I'm doing.
No.
So I pull out 1 pop wrapper, 2 pop wrappers, and then I see the little red balloon dangling there. Now, my God. I grab it, I pull it out, I see it, I can know there's something inside the balloon, some contents, I don't know, it's still covered in shit, and I don't want to manhandle it. I tell my shift partner, I'm like, all right, go ahead and go grab a bag or something so we can claim this. He leaves, and mind you, it's just me and this naked guy. I'm damn near on my knees, he's pinned against the wall, and he looks at me and goes, you'd be a great officer one day. And I said, shut up, I do not want to hear it. He doesn't even shower after that whole fiasco. He just washes his damn hands. That pissed me off more than anything else. He goes back in, and at that point, I'm like, I am ready to leave this place. So that's the story of the last week I was there before I ended up leaving the jail.
And did you not take this shit-covered balloon and seal it?
That's what was asked. There was communication. I did not want to put shit and seal it with no air just for whoever the unlucky person is get gassed as soon as they crack that open. I apologize for whoever that officer was. I'm sure they didn't have a great time. They probably had it worse than me. No, they didn't. I had it worse than them. And
you had to like fondle his butthole. Yeah, I mean that's pretty bad.
Yeah, no.
I would have at least rinsed the baggies off.
I was not contaminating anything. I mean, if it's covered in shit, it's covered in shit. How I found it is how it was sealed. That's
Just
how I
look at
left
him.
it.
There it is.
Yep, and I told my joke commander, I'm like, I wish I would have quit a week sooner. And she goes, I'm glad you didn't, because I don't know anybody else that would have done that. And I'm like, well, you're welcome, and goodbye.
So wait, did you have to like forcefully take it out his asshole?
Oh, yeah, my fingers went in there. Not inside the asshole, just kind of really close to it. He was really comfortable with a man's fingers next to his butthole. I'm going to let that be known. He was too comfortable with a hard-ass man 5 inches away from his asshole.
Was he looking at you like eye to eye when you were doing
Buddy,
it?
I was not going to look at a grown man eye to eye as I'm next to his butthole. It was not happening. We could do it. I was so focused on the task at hand, being his ass, that I did not want to see anything else. If he moved, he was getting tased. He didn't move.
Did it ever cross your mind that you were pulling this balloon out and just wanted to be like, tickle, tickle?
A part of me wanted to accidentally go a little too deep and make him feel a little bit of pain, but at the same time I had to restrain, because that in a document would not be great for a judge if that so happened to be brought up. Because if a judge asked me, saying, did you penetrate this inmate? Yeah, no, I ain't going to that kind of court. It's not happening. I'm not getting that kind of case on my last week there. I just pulled it out and called it a day.
You know, there's so many ways you could have manipulated that. You could have just accidentally poked his butthole, and whether he was used to it or not, he would have jumped, and you'd be like, all right, taser, taser.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't have much trust in the person that is having a taser next to me. With me being within a few inches of him to not get shot. I've already been shot. I've been drive stunned. I've got all that. I don't need it again. One time was enough.
Good boy.
Yeah, and then you go, yeah, go ahead. I had to do it, so you do it. Don't be a bitch. And I had to do it. I kicked an officer in the chest when that happened, but hey, it serves him right.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
missed
yeah,
the
he was
he missed the
kinda
class when
standing in the
everybody
wrong
got
spot.
tased. You weren't there for that. How many of us got tased?
No,
All
Sunday was
15,
not,
16
but,
of us?
That was a fun day.
The entire jail
Yeah,
staff went through it.
There's a lot of us.
Yeah, you should have seen us all getting pepper sprayed.
No, fuck that. I'll take you.
Yep.
Tase my ass again.
Yeah, no, I will get
No, no
tased
kidding.
3 more times before I get pepper sprayed again. And then I had to work that night. The amount of inmates that asked me, "Are you okay?" Like I was, as if I wasn't crying all day. You're damn right, I was crying all day. That shit hurt.
Yeah, and then you get home from work that night and it reactivates in the shower. And
Oh no, it was pepper spray at 3 p.m. Shower it off to the best you could, and I may have accidentally got my shift partner pissed off because he didn't realize that when the water runs down your face, it does travel to other parts of your body. He told me that he thought he had a disease because his cock was on fire. I do apologize to you, my military officer. I do apologize. I'm sorry.
I got something to add to that. Before I do, let's hit on Officer Grace. What moment during your job that you just had you like, what am I doing here and how did I get here?
Did you mute her?
Okay, we're dead.
Great story. Great story.
Good times. I remember those days.
Yes, I remember that. Okay, going forward, I'll go ahead and make my comment to
She's with Radar now. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Grace. So, does anybody remember me talking about Officer Hillbilly?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Officer Hillbilly was already spray certified several years prior. Well, he had ended up emptying a can of OC spray on an inmate one time, requested from our OC instructor to get more OC. So he got provided with a can, not even thinking about it, grabs a can, puts it on his belt.
I just realized who Officer Hillbilly is.
And Officer J, I think you were probably relatively around the area when this happened, but so he puts it in there and he's like, "Man, I got my new can of OC. Before I go past shower," whatever he was getting ready to do, he said he's like, "I'm gonna go take a piss." Goes in the bathroom, takes a piss, and comes out very casually for about 30 seconds, and then next thing you know, he runs into the bathroom screaming, my dick, why is it on fire?"
Why is it spicy?
And this Officer Hillbilly drops his drawers, puts his junk in the sink in the bathroom, and just starts splashing water on it, going,
Oh, that was fun.
and this dude, when he received his new can of OC, his can was leaking, didn't realize it, grabbed it, put it into his belt, went over and hold his dick to go take a pee. And yeah, back to last episode talking about spicy tacos. He had a spicy hot dog that day.
Yeah, literally.
It should be known that he has worked so much with his hands that it's damn near just pieces of wood for hands with how fucking dry and callous they are. That's why he didn't feel it, and that's what he told me afterwards. He goes, "I didn't even know," and his hands were also on fire, but he couldn't feel a thing.
Well, at least we can solely confirm his dick was not calloused.
Is Officer Hillbilly is that
Still
the
has
officer that
feeling.
wears all the brown?
No. This
Okay.
This officer didn't like many jail officers.
Nope. If he liked you, he did. If he didn't, it was known.
Yeah, he very
He
much
worked there
would
during
not
my
hold
time?
back.
He was not. He was not a fan of Officer Fixins. I'll tell you that.
No, Officer Hood, I don't think you were. And if you were, it was very towards the end of before he had to step out for personal reasons. But yeah, Officer Fixins, oh man, don't get me started on that.
I don't want to. There's so many stories.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many times Officer Hillbilly wanted to just absolute pimp smack Officer Fixins. And he very much made it known, and he was very, very unprofessional. That goddamn stupid bitch. He just didn't care.
Dude,
Yeah.
when he's an old timer. He's been worked at the jail a few times, so he's old school. His
Before
first,
cameras, old school.
yeah. So his first week there, he comes onto the second shift where I started or where I was at, and it was up to us second shift officers to get him back in the ropes of how new jail works. I don't think he was really a fan of it.
No, definitely
But
not.
one of the first times I had to really stop him and be like, hey, you know, there's new laws that don't allow you to do those things. Let me explain. This kid comes in, he's probably like 18. Let it be known before the story starts that he has a cast on his right arm. It's important to know. So he comes in, there's some probably, I don't even know the charge. I'm not going to make an assumption because I don't remember. But I'm going to be fair and frank that it was something petty. It was like a misdemeanor. Comes in. He's obviously never been in jail before. He's very upset. He's crying a little bit, making it known. Officer Hillbilly is taking care of it while I was passing medications to the block. At the block that I'm at the old jail, is right next to the booking area. He allows the new inmate to make a phone call, let the person know where they're at, their bond, all that good stuff. Much nicer than I thought he would. But I let him do his thing, and then the inmate starts yelling on the phone. Officer Hillbilly, being courteous, he gives him a warning like, hey, don't be yelling on my damn phone or you ain't gonna fucking get one. The inmate apologizes. He's new to him. He goes, I get it, kid, just don't do it. All right. Not even 30 seconds later, starts yelling again. Officer Hillbilly takes the phone away from him, slams it down. He goes, go sit your fucking ass down right now. So now this kid's more riled up, starts yelling at Officer Hillbilly.
That's a bad idea.
A lot of inmates know Officer Hillbilly does not fuck around. And he made that very fucking known. He comes around the corner, goes out of the booking area to where he is standing. He says, I don't give a fuck who you are or how young you are. I'll kick your fucking ass. So sit the fuck down and shut up. He's yelling, and the block that I'm at is the block of females. So they're witnessing a grown-ass man belittling a probably 18-year-old male with the arm casts. He refuses to sit down. Officer Hillbilly grabs him, basically shoves him back against the wall to the seat. And as the arm cast, again, arm cast, that's a nice word. He has the cast there.
Arm cast?
Yeah. And yeah, I'm like, okay, I gotta probably pause this before we get a lawsuit for too much with someone that's already medically a problem. And before I can intervene, the kid starts crying. And Officer Hillbilly looks at him and goes, are you fucking crying as a grown man? You goddamn baby. And he leaves. Like, the girls are all laughing at him. He hears it. He cries even more. And I'm like, oh, God. Shut the door, go to the office. I'm like, hey, listen, you did great up until the point where you shoved a man that's already a medical problem. Please don't do that. He goes, well, why? I'm like, because ACLU does not like that. I promise you they will be on our asses. Like hair on the back of your goddamn hand, you old fuck. Don't do that. He goes, I apologize. I'm like, I get it. You're used to kicking ass. Just have steps to it. He goes, all right, I will. And that's probably the first event of the many long times that I've had to work with him. I love the guy. I think he's great. And he was always first up and was last to leave because nobody wanted to fuck with him. And the ones that did learned the very hard way of what the fuck he does.
Oh, yeah. Some of the good old classic stories.
Oh yeah, God, I miss that guy. He was fun. First time I ever worked with him, I was fairly new. I had probably been at the jail like 2.5 months, and I was like, "Fuck, dude! Like, I need to show off in front of this guy."
He goes, show off and piss the block that's been asking.
Really impress him.
I might have already told this story, but yeah, we wow, I just lost my words.
I was about to say, we did?
Yeah. So I was like, wow, fuck, like I really need to impress this guy. So I I do what normal 18 and 19-year-olds do, and in an attempt to impress him, I start just like absolutely working my ass off for absolutely no goddamn reason. Now this guy wasn't a moron. He knew exactly what I was doing. So I did every walkthrough that day.
Did you know what you were doing?
Barely. I did every walkthrough that day, and I passed
Lord,
chow
bitch.
and all that stuff. And so I came in a little early that day because him and I worked 2 separate shifts. So my shift started at 3. He was leaving at about 3. So at this point, it's probably about 2:15ish. I'm like, hey, I need to do the 2:00 walk. He looks at me and he goes, no, you're gonna sit your fucking ass down and let some other people work. I was like, what? He goes, you're doing too much. You need to sit that fucking ass down and let me do something. I said, okay. All right, man. So I sat down and out of
He
fear
didn't
didn't do
want to
another
wrestle with
goddamn
Officer
thing.
Hillbilly.
No.
That's showing him. I'm happy you showed off like that. Just sat there and did nothing. Are you impressed?
Hey, I did so much that by the end I didn't have to do shit.
Literally.
Yeah, you were getting bitched at. Sit the fuck down.
Oh,
Listen,
my God.
coach, I'm gonna smack you in the mouth.
Buddy, it would have been a bad day for him. I would have hit him with the meanest right hook he's ever felt.
Could you even reach his face?
Not that much taller than me. He's probably 5'11". I'm like 5'7".
Would you have tried to reach for his face?
Out of fear, no. No. No, I'm good, man.
I've watched that man take on a whole block by himself, and nobody even dared to step out to help the one inmate that was getting their ass beat from him.
Oh no, they didn't want to.
Oh, I think 20 inmates in that block. This old ass man has a 20-year-old male pinned against the fucking chair against the bars. He goes, "Don't you fucking move, or I'm kicking your ass." Rest of the inmates, bars are open. They could jump him at one point. They go, "Nope, nope. They've heard a lot of stories. We don't want to fuck with that guy."
Good old school, that guy. Well, I have to say, we kind of went off the chain a little bit. Tried a little something different tonight. Typically, we've had some pretty justified topics, and we just wanted to, throw a little something together. We got a new officer in here with us. Let it be known that he's since retired, so he's not an officer with us anymore. But we don't discriminate. You and that damn rest in peace, buddy. I'm telling you, you're gonna be resting in peace here soon.
Buddy, I'm respecting the fallen soldiers.
Correction, we do discriminate. Got to get that tap discrimination.
We love discrimination.
Out of context, that's so bad. I was listening to this podcast about jail officers, and they love discriminating. Do you believe this?
I think that's synthesized around
one of
Officer
them's
Coach
20
there.
something, starts with a J.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, he no longer works there. Now it's going to be really hard.
No, that's true.
Oh, my Lord.
But we figured we'd throw something off the rain a little bit. No, I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, just a little table talk. It's a fun episode. Fun to just sit down and talk a little bit, talk amongst your peers and whatnot. In law enforcement, there are plenty of stories, but sometimes it's better to just sit and talk about your experiences without a specific topic, especially with a group of people as close as we can be. Table talk subject can just be pretty interesting, honestly. So we appreciate you guys listening. My name is Officer Coach, always joined by my wonderful host, Officer Titan. We'd like to thank our guests for joining us on today's episode, and it's been Lawful Laughs. Thanks for watching.